guys, welcome back to Henry Nam Reacts, and today I'm actually going to be watching Michael Jackson's Bad, I believe it's the Bad 25 documentary by Spike Lee. What the heck? Okay, I'm just going to leave it small screen because when I went big, it was like issues with the whatever, so I'm going to keep it small screen. This was in the beginning of his Bad tour. I remember. Oh, that's so filthy. Is that his production company?
I feel rejuvenated, kind of, because after working on it so long, it's so much work.
I saw this interview.
They're used to just seeing the outcome of work. They never see the side of the work you go through to produce the outcome.
I think people have resolved on the fact that Thriller was the biggest selling record in the world. How are you going to follow up, on something like that? It's almost impossible. Try telling that to Michael Jackson, though.
The Thriller is the blockbuster behemoth in the era of blockbuster artists. I mean, that's the era when you had, Madonna, Springsteen, Whitney Houston. So big stars, big album, MTV era, music videos are in ascendance. So, and it's the signature album of that era.
Thriller sold over 100 million copies worldwide to date. 35 million in the US, over 70 million outside the US, and that's not even counting singles.
There was a
he's seriously international.
Around Michael and Thriller for those 3 years.
26th annual Grammy Awards. Aww, is that his kid? So cute. Oh shit, how would he win? You might as well just keep standing up. I love his outfit. Oh my god, it's so sparkly.
That existed. And it sold more records than any other album in the history of the music industry.
Most of us, he's just wacko jacko. And if some of the press are to be believed, he bathes in Perrier water, eats flowers for lunch, and sleeps in an oxygen tent.
And it all comes from
y'all are weirdos. They only said that because he was black too.
They have nothing else to write about.
What surprises me sometimes is people that get distracted and myopic about Michael's eccentricities when they listen to his music and watch his performance. That's like somebody saying, hey, there's a cobweb on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
So the Michael Jackson cacophony is fascinating in that it is not about Jackson at all. I hope he has the good sense to know it and the good fortune to snatch his life out of the jaws of a carnivorous success. He will not swiftly be forgiven for having turned so many tables, for he damn sure grabbed the brass ring. Freaks are called freaks and are treated as they are treated in the main abominably because they are human beings who cause to echo deep within us our most profound terrors and desires.
People tend to reduce
James
the backlash
Baldwin.
to Michael Jackson to these eccentricities.
He said it amazingly.
It was a misconception that Michael went behind Paul McCartney's back to bid on the catalog, but that was absolutely not the case.
I remember when he bought the Beatles catalog, he came to me and he said, they want whatever it was at that time, $52 million. It sounds like too much money. He said, I think you're wrong.
A lot of those Beatles songs are considered sacred songs by people. I mean, they really are more than just pop songs they heard on the radio. They meant something in their lives beyond almost any songs they heard. I mean, Sgt. Pepper particularly, right?
And one thing we really have tried not to do is to sit down and worry about competing with Thriller, because that's really self-destructive,
Yeah,
and dishonest.
And you don't want to make a copy of it,
Always not there. Would write with a red Sharpie on his mirrors in his rooms, wherever he was. He'd write 100 million albums sold for Bad to remind him when he would stand in front of the mirror, brushing his teeth, brushing his hair, doing himself up, that was his goal.
And I said,
Mike,
there's a lot of pressure. Why, maybe you should think about why not do an album of cover songs that inspired you? Jackie Wilson, James Brown, just go a little left to center so you don't feel like you have to compete with yourself.
But that would
and he looked at me like I was from Mars.
Wouldn't be it.
Because Michael thrived on that pressure. He thrived on pushing himself and everybody else around him.
Excited for Off the Wall.
He told people after that album, I'm going to follow this up with an album that's going to sell twice as much as Off the Wall. People didn't believe him, and he did it. And so with Bad, he said, okay, I'm going to do it again.
Bad has a special distinction. It's the first album in history to generate 5 consecutive #1 pop singles. And that record was only recently tied by Katy Perry with her Teenage Dream album. It started with I Just Can't Stop Loving You in the summer of 1987.
Bad.
Then you had The Way You Make Me Feel.
Man in the Mirror.
And finally Dirty Diana.
Okay, Frank. 3 rolls of 12 shots later, he goes, that's enough. And this is what we came up with.
There was an album cover shot.
That's a
and
sick
it was
shot.
done in a very 30s style. It was a copy of a Vogue photograph of Gloria Swanson that had been shot back in the 30s. So it looked like
That's
Michael was
filthy.
wearing a veil or a piece of lace on his face.
He did have a veil, and I said, I'm not putting on an album cover with a schmuster over his face.
He called me up and he went, that is not the album cover.
We wanted a tough
That would actually
album.
be
We wanted
filthy
to
if it came with
forget
the
whole tough image
DVD, and
anyway,
then you had
you know,
the
'cause
photos with it too.
It's important that you keep trying to change, change up, And this is the one where I'd asked him to write all the tunes.
This room is built for Michael. Yeah, this Studio D in Westlake was built for Michael Jackson, and for specifically the Bad record. I was in this big room here.
What?
We had
This
Phil and
whole
Gaines in the other room,
place
E,
just for
I
that
believe it was,
album?
doing all the synth parts.
I'm saying it's like a way of saying you're cool, you're all right, you're tough. I'm not saying I'm like criminally bad. Of course, that's how people would
I
take
see
it.
why they said don't use Smooth Criminal.
It's a
you
bold
know,
statement to me.
then they would blow it up
Opening
even
line
more.
is, your butt is mine, I mean, that's street, like,
Your
let's get it on,
butt
So,
I wanted
that
to do a
hooked
duet
me.
with Prince and have the video with him coming to kick Michael's ass.
The rivalry between the two of them, between Prince and Michael,
They
for
had a
real
rivalry?
music lovers at that time and real music fans, that's a rivalry that is unmatched and will probably go unmatched for many, many years. Michael impacted dancers.
Nobody can touch him dancing. So I think, when I
Oh,
try to
it's Chris
dance,
Brown.
I try to, not mimic him, but I try to, not let him down in a way.
Prince impacted musicians.
Michael Jackson and Prince were the polarizing figures of the 80s. Are you a Michael fan or a Prince fan?
You can't do that. You can't. You know why?
Ah.
Because I think that Michael and Prince came into our lives at a different point.
They're synonymous to
Yeah.
me. They're equal.
Oh, it's so
By
cute.
86 and 87, hip-hop is now becoming the dominant thread in a lot of aspects of American pop culture. And so Michael's responding to that to some degree with the Bad video and the imaging of Bad, but it's done in a Michael Jackson way.
The first step that was taken was to bring in Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese to direct the first video from the album.
Oh,
and Michael never
Scorsese.
called them videos. It was the first short film from the album.
You never hear him say, I'm doing a music video. I'm doing short films.
He had graduated with honors from an exclusive New England prep school. Edmund Perry was killed by a police bullet on Morningside Drive.
They had read stories like this before. Too many of them. Black kid, 17, from Harlem, poor, with another black youth, tries to rob a white man who turns out to be a plainclothes cop.
Edmund Perry was a kid from Harlem. He and his brother, Jonah, had both gone to prep schools. So they were like, privileged, not privileged because they were exposed to privilege.
And this was a kid that was very much kind of dealing with what's becoming a more common kind of internal conflict among black kids.
He did ask me, he took me aside and said, do people live here? I said, oh yeah, this is a good one. I said, you gotta, because we went to some others and I was pretty, Was
you scared?
A little
I'm
bit.
gone.
For him, I thought it was a shock to see that.
How did I get cast in this? Audition. We all had to have a
Wesley
audition.
Snipes. I heard this was his first role, really.
It was quite a few guys. I don't know exactly how many.
Wesley came in, it was just, there was no, there was no question.
And the guys I went in with, they all, all approached the characters kind of B-boy-ish, characteristic of B-boys, with the yo, man, yeah, this type of thing. And that's
Too
not my
much.
particular
Yeah.
style, so I went the opposite direction of what they did. And I played it very, very subtle.
Yo, college. What's your major, man?
This is high school, there ain't no majors.
Then what's your minor?
Wesley Snipes, his appearance in that video was probably one of the most notable acting debuts. And the fact that he made his mark known in a music video, everyone remembered Wesley Snipes after that moment.
Are you bad?
Oh.
Or is that what they teach you up at that little sissy school of yours? How to forget who your friends are?
Well, let me tell you something. I don't care what they teach you up there. You either down or you ain't down.
Which he wrote bad film on there, and it's titled Today's Motto. Let nothing be a take unless I'm extremely satisfied, unless I felt it in my soul.
You want to see who's bad? You want to see who's bad? Come on. Come on, let's do it. Let's see who's bad, man. Come on. Come on, let's go.
He tried to rob, Edmund Perry tried to rob a white man. He was an undercover cop. I feel like that's kind of, I can't tell you how messed up that is.
I like that.
He gonna shoot that kid for what?
And the guy just, something happened. It sort of hurt his arm a little bit.
No, it's all right. It's all right. We're gonna take care of it. I promise you.
No,
please. Do it in the same way. I mean, it has to be done in that way.
The only time Michael really became, I think, very, very concerned was at that moment where he begged me, please don't do another take on the guy. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I mean, really begged me. I said, no, all right. Actually, it's all worked out. No, please, I beg you, we have it. It's true, we did have it, so.
The thing is also when he drops down into it, and everybody starts surrounding him.
Yeah, if we drop down in front of the three guys the opposite way, it was sort of three guys would be in the way of the camera.
Okay, great.
What I didn't realize
he
is
was
that,
hanging up
I
from
have
there?
this like earnest, social drama, and all of a sudden it's gonna end in this choreographed big song, and it was like, huh?
Yeah, we need some type of resolve. I love the real life sounds that they incorporated. It's so fun.
We're gonna hold that on.
Michael was very interested in incorporating body popping into his videos. So he feels like the dancers themselves know more about what we're doing. So he chose to use the street dancers to choreograph the videos with him.
I'm giving you all concrete. And throw your stuff, you let it be. And hit those little things like boom, we do little moves and you feel those little up rhythm.
We would work with the dancers in the daytime, but me and Casper would go to the Helmsley Palace Hotel and work with Michael at night. And we'd be working till 2:30, 3 in the morning, and we'd take turns creating different things, making different things happen, and then he'd get in there and he'd do his thing, I'd get in to do my thing, and we would take turns doing that. But it wasn't like a dance-off, like competing against each other, but like pushing each other, inspiring each other, and pushing each other to the next limit. So at first it was myself and Casper and Michael only. Then after I got a hold of Greg Berg, and Greg Berg started coming over to the rehearsals with us as well. And we were just gelling, just coming up with ideas. There was nothing constructed yet.
I know people made a lot of, what's a showmon?
Showmon!
Showmon is basically his hat nod to Mavis Staples.
Showmon!
He could have went with James Brown and been like, look at here, or Marvin Gaye and I love the fact that he played that homage to one of the under-championed soul singers of her day.
Michael has this scooting move where he's scooting forward. That's a Michael signature step. I said, Michael, that has never been done in a group before. Could you imagine if all of us were scooting across the camera like that?
That was the sickest part. I don't even know what it is. It's so sick.
With a group of us doing this, and it worked out beautifully.
A breakdown which turned out to be pretty much in the tradition of a preacher giving a sermon. And we did that 3 cameras live.
And Michael goes, okay, I want you guys to just follow me. I think I had to be one of the only singers in the group because a lot of the guys were studying dance.
Oh my God, it was church, it was James Brown. If any place reaffirmed him or if he was trying to reaffirm to people who he was and where his roots were, and the soulfulness that he has, and frankly, the blackness that he was, it's those last 30 seconds.
I love that part. I was not expecting it at all.
Sometimes he even lost us, you know. Get doing wrong, got you being empty. So guys,
that would have been me.
And this is something that he envisioned and he was feeling, and then finally got that.
Oh, that shit right there. Oh, I was not expecting that.
So that's the way it goes down, huh?
But that I said just doesn't seem to work. It just is the fellas have to more or less accept him, and he accepts them, and that they go their own way. That's it.
Last week,
That's what
Michael
I got
Jackson re-entered human history to gladden mankind with his latest album, thus triggering a wave of media silliness and cross-promotion. CBS Television led off the Festival of Foolishness Monday night. It broadcast a half-hour special on Jackson and his new album.
I mean, when that video comes on
so
Monday night,
rude.
everybody's gonna be glued to the TV screen, and they're gonna be with their friends. They're gonna be saying, "Do you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?"
It was before the age of the internet. I mean, the most that I could do was call somebody else's house that had three-way, who then called another friend that had three-way. Like 7 of us watched this short film on three-way in dead silence.
I was just transfixed in front of the TV.
We took all the documentary footage we could find on Michael from the very early stages when he joined Motown Records. It ended with a video clip of him in London with hundreds of girls screaming and yelling. And we put this rumble track underneath the screaming and yelling to really enhance it.
You're just like this with the Beatles.
And Michael just loved this, this comment by this woman of comparing him to the Beatles. That he lit up when he saw that. He just turned to me from the chair and said, "I love it, Larry. I love it."
If you saw it, you witnessed one of the great.
It was actually originally intended as a duet with Whitney Houston.
This award honors you for your consistent artistic and technical excellence in all forms of video and for raising the standard of the art form to new horizons.
Thank you, Whitney.
You're welcome.
To all the fans around the world, thank you very
That
much.
would have been really cool, too.
So Arista Records says, you know, we don't want Whitney to be overexposed, you know.
Clive Davis.
When I see Clive, I'm gonna give him hell. Just kidding, everybody calm down.
I remember when it came out, we found out it was Saida Garrett.
And there weren't very many people in the studio. It was just Michael,
Oh,
Quincy,
she also
Bruce
co-wrote
Swedien,
Man in the Mirror.
and
That's
me.
filthy.
And Quincy just sort of over his shoulder said, "Hey, Sid, you like this song?" And I'm going, "Yeah, I'm knitting. Yeah, I like it." He said, "You think you can sing it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I walked in this room and I see these 2 mic stands, and there's music sheets on the mic stands. And in the moment that I saw the music sheets where it said, Michael Saida, that was the moment that I realized, oh my God, I'm doing a duet with Michael Jackson.
Oh my God. I would have freaked out. Oh, she has such a great voice.
I'm singing, my eyes are closed. You know how I... And Michael started tossing. I think it was popcorn. I'm singing, my eyes closed, and I'm feeling this. And then Quincy, all Quincy sees is me, you know, he said, "Sid, this is studio time. You're wasting time, Sid. You're wasting expensive studio." And Michael is cracking up.
I wish I could play the piano. I really do.
I was slated to be on the Bad
so
Tour.
beautiful.
I was convinced that by my record company and other people
Why
that I
wasn't
needed
she
to
in
do
it?
a record because the duet had just come out. And I'd rehearsed with them for a week when I decided I want to do my record. So I pulled out.
It would have amazing.
The band used
It
to
would have been
bet
amazing
on
if she
whether
was there, honestly.
Michael was getting excited during the song. Now,
Singing to you?
yes.
You
Now
say that?
I say
Say
that's
it again, say
I
it
say
again.
that's a stretch.
And he draws you in so much, and just singing a song into his eyes and having him look at you, it's really exciting.
It was a match made in heaven because, first of all, there was a tremendous amount of mutual respect. There is no one in popular music history like Quincy. As an orchestrator, as a composer.
A person that loves that artist enough to never want to see him in trouble and only want to see just the best for that artist, to come up with the best results, is an incredible trust where you can say, jump, Michael. There's no parachute, there's no net, there's nothing there. There's 34 stories down. Jump.
And he used to always say, you can't polish doo-doo.
But you can't polish doo-doo, you know. You gotta have a great song in the beginning.
We look at the end of a day, and I have goosebumps, and Michael has goosebumps, and Bruce Swedien, the engineer, has goosebumps. And I think we've got something special.
And Quincy just puts his little fairy dust over it, and it's a Quincy Jones project. And it's kind of, as he says, leave space for God to walk through the door and create some magic.
Michael Jackson invented the champagne music.
We finish the album, we do disco versions, and we do videos, etc. And I think inside we weren't really sure whether we could make it work.
The one thing I didn't think was possible was just to do a translation of the song. The way he performed and the way he handled this, he felt perhaps a bit vulnerable.
I'm sorry, you can continue.
When you control the whole thing, all of a sudden now somebody's telling you how to do something in a language that is not yours, and so you are vulnerable. I mean, and I made it my main effort to make him feel comfortable, not to feel that I was like in any way mocking him. The pronunciation was so good that I was stunned. Both of them. Mi vida no es vida. My life is not a life. Si tú te vas, if you leave. Todo mi amor eres tú. All my love, you are all my love.
The number of demos that we worked on for Bad was 60, maybe 65 demos.
When I received the demos, they were in really good shape at that time.
I guess I didn't realize it at the time, but what we were doing was we were forming the B team. Quincy always called his team the A team. His engineer, Bruce Swedien.
John Robinson on drums.
Arranger, Jerry Hay.
Nathan East on bass. Keyboards would have been Greg Fillinganes.
I started with Michael here at Havenhurst, and we were the kind of the initial team, which was John Barnes, myself, Michael, Bill Bottrell, Chris Correll.
And then at times, other musicians would come in. The most prominent would be David Williams, who's no longer with us.
And in some ways, I think Michael kind of liked that vibe. He kind of liked the vibe of, you know, having a little competition to see who could come up with the best thing. I think this is one of the things that he learned from his Motown days. This is something he learned from Barry Gordy.
We weren't making demos. We were making records.
Anybody else would be perfectly happy to accept a Michael demo as a finished record. Let me put it that way.
We would work every single day on creating individual sounds for songs that were going to ultimately be on the record. We would record them, re-record them, different keys, different speeds, different instrumentation. And so that became kind of an experiment in how far could we push.
And Michael would say, you know, it starts in this very room. And from this room, it goes out and it spreads over the entire world. It's quite an experience to be back here in the Havenhurst studio, just as it was when I last left it almost 25 years ago. We never knew what we were going to do when we showed up, you know, coming to the studio. If Michael was inspired, we followed it. So this is Michael singing multiple harmony parts. This is Michael double tracking the mid, the low, the high parts. There's actually 10 tracks of Michael singing his own backgrounds on this song.
The way you make me feel, you really turn me on. You knock me off my feet.
You can hear the difference in sound quality from being out here in the music room to walking into the bathroom. Now, this one was one of Michael's favorite places because of the nature of the surfaces in this room. One of the things that we would do is we would record with the door to the shower open. Much more reflective, a lot of what we call early reflection, a lot of brightness, a lot of reinforcement to how things sounded.
Stevie Wonder. That's such a skill being able to sing and play the piano.
You're the hardest part. Really make me feel. I know that. Really turn me on. Keeping me up on my feet now, baby. Lonely days are gone.
Met with Quincy Jones and Frank to find out what they were looking for in the video. And they said, basically, we want to take Michael to another level, especially with his relationships with women. Then I talked to Michael, and I said, what do you want it to happen? He said, Skid Row. We wanted a long prequel, just like they did in Bad. I contacted August Wilson.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm from Pittsburgh, and August was from Pittsburgh.
So what did August say?
No, he said no. I did this little documentary about the
He
guys
said
on the
no?
street accosting girls, real stuff. And showed it to Michael. He looked at it and actually said, could we make the video look like this? Because it was all handheld and jerky. And I said, sure, if that's what you want. You sure you want that? He said, yeah. And we actually used real gang members in the video. We had the V-13s down here on this corner and the Crips on this corner. And some of the guys were smoking. And Michael came to me and says, Joe, the guys are smoking down there. You know, it's kind of bothersome. And I just turned and said, will you fucking guys quit fucking smoking? And Michael looked like he almost panicked. He almost hid behind me because there's all these gang members. We had cops everywhere, though, so it wasn't a big problem. When he sees the girl, he did a thing with his fingers going. Happened once. My brother was operating the camera and caught it. I said, oh my God, thank God.
Michael had the best sounding fingers, didn't he? Just.
I don't remember which song it is, but on Bad, he has a credit for finger snaps.
Really?
One of the most amazing moments
Honestly,
that I
amazing.
remember was Michael walking, and catches up to Tatiana and sings for the first time.
You knock me off of my feet now, baby.
Everything stopped. We had to stop shooting because people just froze. They actually froze.
To play a shuffle like that for 12 minutes is not easy.
Michael's mother, she has this song in mind. She says, Michael, you gotta come up with a song that has this real shuffling kind of rhythm.
When we finally chose Tatiana, wasn't in my first 5. I didn't like her. And I showed Frank DeLeo, his manager, the casting tape, and he said, that girl's running around with Prince, and Michael finds out, he'll be upset. And that girl's running around with so-and-so, I'm not gonna name names. I can't say because it was Quincy Jones. I think, as I remember.
she seemed physically to be the female version of Michael Jackson. There may have been in his head an interesting idea about, wow, this is almost kind of my perfect complement.
She was the finest thing around at that time, and I wanted to be Michael. I wanted to be Michael walking right beside her, standing on cars and being, I wanted to be Michael that day.
I first got hooked up with
Harmonies are so
Quincy
nice.
through a band I was playing in Los Angeles called Seawind. We were playing at a club. Quincy, always being at the forefront of finding new talent, heard about us as a horn section, called up one night, Jerry, this is Quincy Jones. What? Yeah, you want to play on a record? Of course. You want to do an arrangement? Oh, okay. He said, how about tomorrow? And that was kind of the beginning of this 30-plus year relationship with Quincy. The horn players are two saxophone players, Kim Hutchcroft and Larry Williams. The trumpet player, Gary Grant. The trombone player, Bill Reichenbach. Vamp out. Again, two trumpets, two saxes.
The day of the audition, I wore a dance in a black dress.
That's my
with
favorite
boots
part.
and bracelets, bangles, which was kind of like my signature thing at the time. And I heard that Michael liked my look. He liked the whole style of what I had done, so he kept that.
We created a complete look for her. Hair extensions, and we changed her makeup completely.
I had two dresses at the time, right? One was pink, one was black. And the black one was kind of like reminiscent of a Tatiana dress. That's where I was living.
The Way You Make Me Feel video, you know, when he's chasing the girl around, that was kind of how I pictured my baby video. We kind of based it off of that. In my video, you can see he's like, I'm in a bowling alley, but it's kind of like a modern version. I'm chasing her around, trying to, you know, get her to like me.
I love Baby as a song. I don't care what people say.
Micah called me and said, I told Joe Pytka, who's going to direct it, that I wasn't going to do any dancing. But the more I listen to it, I think I want to put some dancing in there. Could you go to a studio and like work on some stuff maybe, and then I'll come in and join you? And Joe came in to see what we were doing, and he heard this music going on, and he was like, what the heck's going on in here?
I see this beautiful piece being choreographed, but the idea that I had for the video didn't have a place for that. We had to very quickly improvise where to put that. That's where we came up with the fire hydrant idea.
Ooh, this part.
Fans were always bombarding me with the question, why
I'll
does
watch a
he
little
chase
bit
you
more.
throughout the video only for a hug and not a kiss? Joe Pytka, the director, he whispered in my ear right before the very last scene where we hug. And he told me, he said, don't kiss him.
I felt the kiss was too corny. I'm not even sure I wanted him to get that close. I wanted to maybe stop it here, but it worked out with the caress and the hug and everything like that.
He says, because you were originally supposed to kiss, but Michael's too shy for that, so don't kiss him. When Michael did finally come out, and we got close and we hugged,
I love that
could
shot
smell
there.
like
Oh my
a
God.
minty fresh scent from his breath. Yeah, so
That was a signal.
I kind of think
You should've
he
went for it.
prepared, but being told not to kiss him and that he couldn't handle it, he was too shy. I didn't want to take advantage like that.
Oh, listen, Tatiana
Right
was
on,
not
girl.
shy. She was not a shy girl. And in fact, going on with this story a little bit, she was told definitely, don't kiss Michael on stage.
He was complaining she's becoming too aggressive on stage and everything. And I made a joke. Is this gonna be X-rated, this thing? I said, Mike, why don't you just go fuck her? You're gonna fuck her one night, get it over with.
Damn.
And he started laughing. And Frank says, what the hell are you doing? I got enough goddamn trouble here without you trying to get him involved with this girl.
But for me, it became policy because I said, okay, if Michael doesn't kiss in the video, I don't think anybody should kiss in the video. So since that day, I always edit out kisses in videos. And one in particular, Justin Bieber made a video. He was gonna kiss the girl, and I went crazy. And I went crazy, A, because he wanted to kiss the girl, and B, she was a black girl. And I was like, okay, you're about to mess up your whole thing, man.
What? L.A. Reid, if you don't shut up, he's so ignorant. Oh my God. Talking about she's a black girl, you shouldn't kiss her. What that got to do with anything? He's a self-hater. I can really feel that from him. He's a self-hater. Like, how you gonna talk bad about that young girl like that? What's wrong with you? Oh my God. You're gonna mess up your whole thing. Shut up. Speed demon.
Granny?
She can see him though.
No! Michael Jackson!
Speed
Oh my God, this
Demon
freaked me out.
is, you know, a song that maybe people aren't as familiar with on the album, but it actually serves as a metaphor for the entire album. Because what Michael's trying to do with this album is escape. Escape from all the things that are confining him, all of the things that are suffocating him.
Here he is! Hey, buddy, how about an autograph? Would you autograph my tummy?
Speed Demon was
Oh,
my
hell
song.
no.
I'm a percussionist, and that song was 100% syncopated adrenaline. In the James Brown mode of rhythm arrangement, where you use instruments as percussion.
And that was really, really fun because, for one thing, we had to work out the choreography between what he was going to do and how we were going to do it, and figure out exactly how the moves are going to work and work it right to the music and so on.
Instead of easing into it, maybe it just really hit it.
A flurry load. Yeah, I wish I could. I feel so limited. This stuff is so tight on.
Upon finishing with Speed Demon, he called up one day. He got around to saying how much he loved the California Raisin commercials. So I realized where he was going, and I said, Michael, you should be a raisin. Yeah.
Well, I really think the call pertaining to the backup guys, their characters got to be much stronger. It doesn't hit it right on. This is very important. Thank you. Bye.
The rap raisins materializing behind me. I wanted to define their character. And as far as expression, which is 99% of it, the one guy has the glasses, and he has a type of attitude that he's so cool that I'm fortunate that he's here. He's much too cool for like one of these.
I'm sorry. I'm freaking gone.
And the other one is like a sarcasm. It's like what you looking at. The other raisin would be this style, no glasses. So his eyes is most of the expression, like.
I'm freaking gone.
Like that.
Oh my God. California raisins commercial. I hate raisins.
Quincy wanted some kind of African little intro thing here. So this is Michael Boddicker on synth and all these effects. kind of giving African sunrise sort of thing.
I mean, people are underestimating how radical that was. Nobody else was writing songs about African women as beautiful in 1987, 88.
Oh, Nelson Mandela. He had just become president a few years back, too, right?
So much fun. I hate to leave.
Here's the biggest pop star in the world who quote unquote is making himself look white, and yet he's very engaged with beauty and the idea of Africa as a site of beauty. It just speaks to the fact that Michael had a very strong African consciousness. He went to Africa a lot. He was very engaged with the continent.
Is there a Liberian girl in your life?
No, I wrote that in at my house in the game room. I guess I was playing some pinball or something. And the song just popped in my head. And I think I ran upstairs, put it on tape. And it became Liberian Girl.
When it was created, it just happened like lightning. It was just an instant thing. Normally, it took a lot of time to put things together. That one happened in 3-4 hours.
I'm a great believer in sonic fantasy.
Amazing.
Not in sonic reality. Sonic fantasy means creating a soundscape that exists only in your imagination, that only you can see. So I could see these incredible soundscapes, and I thought the man.
Liberian Girl?
Liberian Girl
My man.
is a perfect example.
I did a little synth work on that. That part right there. And it's got a little bird thing happening on the end of it. Quincy said, give me some of that bird stuff. It's got a little bit of it. The next time is even more so. So there's this part that I wrote.
I played drums on Speed Demon and Liberian Girl. That was good. Liberian Girl was a fun song to do because everyone would always ask me, why did Michael write a song about a lady working in a library?
Yeah, it's a little sexy lady behind the counter with the glasses and the pencil in her hair, and she drop her hair and do that thing. I thought that's what he was talking about.
No, that's not what. And that was just, he thought that was the funniest thing he's ever heard.
The video for Liberian Girl is probably the point where they may have run out of budget. It just has a bunch of celebrities that are waiting for Michael to show up.
Lovers in a scene, and she says, do you love me? And he says, so will it's me. I love you, Liberian girl.
Michael was
Where
not
were
in
the
Liberian
black girls
Girl
in this
because I think he
video,
got
though?
tired of making videos. I was talking to Walter Yedikoff about it, and he said, you gotta get him in the video. So I called up Michael and I said, you
It's
gotta
cool
get
they
him
have
in
so
this video
many
someplace.
celebrities.
He goes, okay, I have an idea. And he goes, you got one take, you got 15 minutes.
One sec. Just let me tell you when I'm ready, okay? One sec.
Ready?
Almost.
And he got in the chair, they rose it up in the air, and he said, action.
Action. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Just Good Friends just wound up being a little coffee break in between the Liberian Girl and just another part of it.
I think there was a lot that did exist at that point that would have been as strong or stronger.
I know it didn't work.
It's so weird when you can't hear the music.
Starting to get stinking now.
I can just punch that part in.
Excuse me.
Great. Beautiful. Oh, did he go home?
Is that it?
I just ran off, didn't I?
Another part of me, my favorite cut.
I love that
on
song.
The Bad album.
All the instruments incorporated in that song, as well as just his vocals, nobody can kind of, teach that.
Wait, did I see this one? I saw the video.
People forget that Michael Jackson's a soul singer. Michael Jackson grew up watching Jackie Wilson, James Brown, and the whole circuit. So his default move is always to go raw.
I love Dirty Diana.
That's your favorite song?
One of my favorites.
Why?
Because it's a life story of a groupie. I hate to say the word groupie, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've experienced, and a lot of people who grew up on the road.
Dirty Diana. Who knew that one day I would live that song in real life so many times over?
I like Dirty Diana. I've met her. I've met Dirty Diana many times.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for making that small piece of the soundtrack to my life on tour.
And I remember when we were kids, we thought, was he talking about Diana Ross? Did he have an affair with Diana Ross? No, that wasn't the case at all. But as kids, we didn't know what was going on. Who was Diana? What she did dirty?
I got a phone call out of the clear blue from Quincy.
Lead
And,
guitar. Oh my God, the
he was
guitar
fucking
on
with
Dirty
me.
Diana is
So he goes,
amazing.
it's Quincy Jones. We're working on Michael's follow-up to Thriller. We got a rock track. I'm not a session guitar player, man. I'm not that world. So I said to Quincy, I said, the only thing I ask is that, Michael be in the studio and we work together. He said, of course he'll be in the studio. It's his fucking record, man. He's gonna be in the studio.
They wanted to do Dirty Diana. And so both
Okay,
videos
yeah.
were
So,
kind of
guys, I'm
changed
gonna be back
public
tomorrow to
perception
watch the
of
rest of
what.
this. Thank you guys for
First one
so
was
much
to
for
get,
watching. I'll see you guys
get
next
him a
time.
girl.
Bye.
The second was
Welcome back to Honey and I'm Rex. And today I'm. Oh, I
The
thought this
original
was
idea
live,
was
but
to
the
have
video's lit too.
The thing finished in a monsoon or rainstorm. We were going to shoot the second day. We were going to have the whole stage blow away, and have it finish in the rain, totally, the wind and rain and stuff. And I think we were going to
that's
sweep away
filthy.
the audience and everything. But the first day, he was doing these knee slides and didn't put pads on.
Ooh.
He came to me the second day when we were ready for all this rain stuff and said, I can't dance anymore. So we couldn't resolve it that way, but it didn't matter. You see the wind and stuff in the first day that starts, and like I said, it was gonna be a deluge after that.
They didn't even tell me that that the photo taken on the set would be the single sleeve back cover.
Oh,
it showed
wow.
up one day, and I went, I can't. You kidding?
Aw,
Michael
that's
always
cool.
was able to think outside the box of what black artists are supposed to do and create his own space.
He got these
That's what I like.
visions in his mind of what he wanted to do. The robot, the car, the kids, the drugs.
Oh my God.
Every kid in this whole world can take drugs because of me.
And how do we bring
I
it
should
all
have
together
watched.
into a
Was
story
there a
that
longer
had
version? I need to
a
watch
piece
it.
in the middle, which was a song and dance.
That looks so
we
good.
started working on some stuff. It was called Chicago Nights, which was really Smooth Criminal.
He was a huge fan
Oh.
of Fred Astaire, and
Astaire. That sounds
wanted to
familiar.
make sure that he paid homage to Fred Astaire in the movie.
Cut, move, music, etc. Flash dance, all that jazz, bandwagon, girl hunt.
Ooh, wait, why he's so smooth with it? See, my knees could never. Oh, see, now I get the inspiration. Look at the club even. To the beat, you better. Hey. Oh, okay. When he shot that, I shoot, I score.
This is a drawing titled Criminal Jacket. And you can see that he's created the basic outline for the jacket that he wound up wearing in that
That's
short
filthy
film,
that he
including the
designed it.
armband.
Quincy told me years ago, and what he said was that Michael had the ability to come in, he could lay down the lead vocal of a track, and then he could sit there, listen, just put the time in, and figure out where all the harmonies should go. And then do that, not leave until he had the harmonies right. And when I think of Smooth Criminal, I was just impressed, again, the vocal.
He could sing bass, baritone, and tenor, but he chose to sing mostly tenor.
Tenor, is it higher? Lighter?
He goes clear down to bass, low C. That is low. That's a basso pitch. And Michael would go right on down there with vibrato, and clear up to a G above high C. I mean, that's enormous. That's more than three and a half octaves. He
That's
really didn't
amazing.
want
What
to
the
grow
hell?
up. He wanted a child's voice. And I always tried to encourage him to use his beautiful speaking voice. I was in Europe one time and the phone rang and he said, hello, in a perfectly male voice, baritone.
Oh,
and
that's
I said,
his real
Michael, why don't
voice?
you use that? He said, I don't like it down there. I like it up there.
Mm.
How high do you have to stick his head?
I want to be all the way open.
There were some of the songs that he was singing, he needed a much wider vocal range. And with the exercises that Seth Riggs provides
I
for
would
him,
love to hear his voice.
It enabled him to open up his range so he could sing higher, and much lower.
So I had to make sure that his voice was even from bottom to top. I have some very strange exercises, which are a little different than most people's, and they're called speech level singing. So we started doing these crazy things.
That's actually helicopter sounds. Come on now. Oh wow,
Sometimes
that sounded
there's-
really good. He sounds like an
I
old time
sampled
singer in that last one.
PYT for Good Life. I actually met him at Leo Cohen's house. He said he liked my voice. And then
Leo who?
I think I took that too seriously and I did a whole singing album.
Kanye, what album was that?
The thing about it is Michael can't go out to clubs and hang out because he's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So through me, he was picking up what was happening in the hood, and I'm taking it to his gallery over at the Jackson House on Havenhurst.
My name is Phyllis Brooks, and I want to direct my question to all you guys. Who teach you guys your dance steps?
Ooh, that's filthy. Ah, you better eat it. I'm sorry. I don't even know what came over me. Oh, he was getting it. Is that Michael? Is that Michael? Nah, it could only be him. It could really only, I want to go back. I want to go back like 10 seconds. Oh, that's filthy. Okay, so he learned from Soul Train dancer Jeffrey Daniel, Jody Watley. I heard they didn't get paid for their work. And I'm like, how do you not get paid for dancing that good? Like, that don't make no sense. They deserve to get paid for all they did. Like, they really raised generation of people, like, for real. Okay. Okay. Let me see it. He's gonna, it's the timing, the execution, oh, the smoothness. Hey. Dancers impress me so much. It's like, how does your
one
body do
guy I
that?
saw on the show, Don Campbell, he changed my life. He did not dance like everybody else. He didn't move like everybody else. He's just walking to the beat. Walking, walking,
Hey.
walking. Jump up, stop, stick out his own hand, give himself 5. Hunch his shoulders, point it.
You know he was feeling it. You
And that
better
was
get
rocking.
it.
You can see Michael doing, like,
Oh, so
you can
that's
see him doing this.
locking.
He's putting this locking in his, you can see he's just incorporating little things into his.
Ooh, what? What
Stuffing
performance
like
is
that,
that?
You know? Funky Chicken, that's a Funky Chicken. So this dances came from Soul Train
Hey.
too. Michael Jackson, he loves it. He loves the locking, he loves the popping. When you see him on stage and he's ticking,
Wait, hold up. I just want to say, this last pause, honestly, but I just want to say I actually got into popping and locking because of a member of BTS, J-Hope. He loves popping and locking. That's like what he really started out as, and he won all these competitions and stuff doing that. And I just feel like it's like so cool. It's like you really have to have so much control, but not to the point where it looks robotic. Like there's such a stop, move, flow, so easy, and then like pop, like that's what pop and locking. I mean, it's in the name. But I honestly didn't like how it looked, because I don't know if it's the way like some dancers convey the music, but it didn't hit for me until I saw it. And I see Michael's, and it's like you don't even really see it as popping and locking. It really takes a life of its own, honestly. I feel like he has the best style, honestly, that I've seen. Ooh. Oh wow, that's amazing.
Some of the dance moves in there, you know, maybe you find out. Still don't know how they did that thing.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think
the whole thing with the
say?
lean. I had done the lean in a Paul McCartney movie called Give My Regard to Broad Street.
Oh, that's filthy.
When I'm on the plane, when we take private jets, we always, like, when it's taking off, we kind of, like, lean forward to try to do the same move as Michael. So it kind of looks the same.
So what, you want to know how it was done? Even to this day, I will reference the Smooth Criminal lean, and people instantly know what I'm talking about.
And now I know.
What happened? There's a
now
break
I
in
know.
Smooth Criminal that was never supposed to be there.
The music breaks down, everything
Yeah,
is
this
cool.
part.
They show a
The
cat
cat.
walking across the
Oh,
piano,
so
the
cute.
lights go blue. We did not know about this.
What do you mean they didn't know about this? The dancers didn't know about this?
For that break in the middle, he just wanted to let the dancers feel the set. I mean, we'd been shooting for quite a while by then. And he just said, you know, I don't want anything to disturb us. And I said, I was shooting 5 cameras at the time. Plus, Jerry had 5 cameras. So there's 10 cameras shooting. And, you know, we didn't know how long it was going to go on for.
Oh, so that's how it was supposed to be? Dances are amazing. You would see me just stand there. But that's why they do what they do, huh?
So I said, you know, Michael, when you're in the schoolyard and you're the smallest and you get teased a lot, it's really only fun to tease you if it bothers you. If it doesn't bother you, you move on. So why don't we just take all this crap that's being said about you, and why don't we say it? Why don't we put it to visuals?
Is this Leave Me Alone? I love this song, y'all.
It was a lot of fun to play that. It had that intro.
Honestly, top 5 on the album.
But there was also a string part that kind of played the same thing, but it was just accenting that. And he was just kind of saying, dig in, you know. And I remember him standing right next to me going.
He knew it's hot.
He goes, hi, Jeffrey, how you doing? I said, all right. He said, so, are you ready to start? I go, yeah. But I'm not looking at Michael. I'm looking at these bushy eyebrows, a short afro wig, and this sideburns and this makeup on. Michael had been out going door to door for Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's why he put on a disguise so people wouldn't know Michael Jackson is knocking on their door. And I'm sure some people are slamming the door in his face like, Jehovah's Witness, get out of there.
Sometimes I want to sneak into places.
I'm dead.
And not have any hoopla or, you know, and it doesn't.
It would be cool
work
if we had,
all
like,
the
you know, the
time.
marble disguises where they can just put on their face and the face changes? That'd be filthy.
I turned around, and it was the old man. I said, what's this? He said, Spankle. I said,
Spankle.
Man, you scared the mess out of me.
I have incredible disguises.
Oh my God,
I
he
can
looked
fool
like a
my
whole
own mother.
different person.
I enjoy doing it because I get to see life the way it really is sometimes.
Yeah, I waited for my brothers all night, man. I fixed my hair and everything, but they didn't show up.
Aww.
Sorry, this bothers me, but he said, I would give anything just to be able to go to a party and stand in a corner somewhere or stand behind a curtain and put my head out and be able to see what it's like for real people to just be real people.
That's so sad. And he's been a child star his whole life.
Big, what a venue. Who'd have thought
Wembley Stadium, the home of Live
Oh,
Aid,
no, never mind.
the home of Nelson Mandela, and now the home of the king of it all.
It's a grueling
it's
tour.
so lit.
It starts in September 1987 and goes until January 1989.
2 years.
He did 15 different countries, 123 different
Michael's
shows,
last tour.
and it actually proved to be one of the most successful concert tours in history.
The Bad
125
World
million.
Tour set 3 Guinness Book of World Records. One was the highest grossing tour of all time, the most attended tour in history, and then the shows that
I'm
we
not
did at Wembley.
surprised.
In
Yeah,
London,
and you
were the
didn't
most
even really have
consecutive
video
shows,
like that? Like,
an artist had ever sold out
no,
in history.
The
I
tour
would be there. You
generated
had
a
to
lot
be
of
there to
income.
experience
Michael
it.
Jackson donated a lot of that income to charities of his choice.
Yes.
We're making a very, very large contribution to the
better.
Prince's Trust Fund, and it'll go to the Ormond Street Hospital.
I like that. There's a lot of artists who go on
United Negro
tour,
College Fund
make
and
millions
the
and millions
Burns
of
Center, the
dollars,
Michael Jackson
make
Burns
so much
Center.
money, and don't give nothing back. And it's like, God, it's the oddest thing to me.
This is hard. My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m.
Oh no.
I performed about
I
a
didn't know
year
he
or so
passed on
before that in
2009.
Australia. And I remember having this dream that I was listening to the radio, and on the radio came that Michael Jackson had died. Then I woke up, sweating and nervous and just gone crazy.
Where were you when heard Michael died?
I was in Montreal. I was directing a project for Cirque du Soleil.
I was sitting here in this chair, in this room.
I was in Savannah, Georgia.
I was at my own studio.
When he died, I was supposed to go meet him. I was supposed to see him at the Staples
Oh,
Center.
no.
I think I was in a car.
Was he about to go
I was
on
actually
stage?
driving in the car.
I know I was home that day.
So I turned on the radio.
No. I was in Panama.
It's how
I
everyone
was
can
actually
remember
working.
exactly where they were.
I had a BlackBerry I picked up in Moscow, and the person said, "He's gone."
Wow. I was in Sony when I heard Michael Jackson pass.
I was in my office having an audition with some artists.
My doorman said to me, Mrs. Robinson, Michael Jackson died.
Actually, my security guard at that time came in and told me that, and he's just wrong all the time.
I just didn't buy into it for 1 second.
Yeah, it's
I couldn't really
surreal.
believe it, and there was nothing on the news at the moment up there telling me that this was true.
I said, what? I said, come on, don't listen to that.
And I didn't believe it.
It just didn't seem real.
I thought it was a lie.
I couldn't believe it. People must have called me. Must have gotten 50 calls.
Yeah,
Don't
they'd be
call
like,
me and tell me that, because it's not true.
I think I started crying on the spot.
I couldn't even breathe, man. I couldn't even breathe. I just collapsed right there on the ground.
We all kind of stayed in a daze. Everything just became a blur.
And I immediately called my friend Bruce William, and he was in shock as well.
Everything stopped. Couldn't do anything.
there's no
I
need
miss
to
his
close
hugs.
up.
Just his friendship, just being around him, just to know he's around.
And I had just seen Berry Gordy several days earlier, and we sat at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel, and we were just talking, and I said, I think Michael's gonna do those shows in London? And he went, I don't know.
I was at the funeral and I sang. I've never sung at a funeral before, ever. So this is Michael Jackson's funeral, and they come in and they go, Mariah, you're on first.
I never dreamed
wow.
that Even Summer was a song that myself and Sarita Wright, well, she was my first wife, Sarita, wrote together. When I sang it at Michael's homecoming service, I never ever imagined that I would be outliving Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It's very, very painful.
It's still unbelievable to me that he's actually dead.
and we should all be ashamed. Each of us 2 and 1. And I don't know who to look at. And Michael said, I guess look at the man in the mirror.
Just like when John Lennon died, people turned to Imagine. When Michael Jackson died, people turned to Man in the Mirror.
Thriller doesn't have that inspirational pop anthem on it, like Greatest Love of All, Whitney Houston, Saving All My Love for You, that kind of thing. And it's interesting that Bad does.
We kept talking about how nice it would be is to get an anthem that had a good feel to it, you know, that's like some sunshine on the world.
So he called a meeting with his West Coast songwriters. I think there were like 6 of us. He said he wanted something upbeat. He said he wanted something that felt good.
Whitney Houston's second solo album was storming the charts, and I think she provided a little bit of heat, and I think that the label was concerned about how to kind of appeal to this audience that had gravitated to Whitney Houston.
Went to Glenn Ballard's house.
I didn't know she was
my
competition
writing
like
partner
that.
At the time, I said, "This is what Quincy wants." He said, "Oh, well,
I'm
let's
not
just see
saying
what
they're
we come
not
up
both
with."
great artists.
He stands
but
up, goes
I
over
just
to the
forget they was
keyboard,
there during
turns
the same
on
time.
the keyboard, and starts playing. So I'm flipping through my lyric book while he's playing these, just getting sounds on the keyboard. Cut to 2 years before this meeting.
Oh.
I'm writing with John Beasley, jazz pianist, and his phone rings. And he picked the phone up instead of letting the machine pick it up. "Yeah, what's happening?" "I'm not doing nothing." And I'm thinking, he's doing something. And I'm flipping through my book. No, he didn't just say he's not doing nothing. No, he didn't. So I'm flipping through this book and I hear him say, "The man." "What man?" "Oh, the man in the mirror." I wrote, "Man in the mirror."
Girl.
So 2 years later, I'm at Glenn's
Girl.
house, and the phrase "man in the mirror" just popped out at me, and I started writing these lyrics that I couldn't write them fast enough. I couldn't get it all out fast enough. And in like 15 minutes, we had the first verse and the chorus for Man in the Mirror. I'm certain there will be a change. And starting with that man in the mirror. I mean, the lyrics evolved into what they are, but these are the humble
Wow, that's
beginnings.
filthy that she still
Glenn
has
said,
it.
"You go finish the lyrics, and I'll finish the track, and we'll demo
I
the song
should
on
just
Friday."
not throw stuff
Friday night,
away.
we
Like, I'd be
finished it
thinking.
after the Quest publishing was closed. So I called
I
Quincy
see, like, she was following. He followed
He
her
said,
melody.
"I'm having
Like,
a meeting.
demos are great.
You can't drop it off." He said, "Just take it to the office on Monday." I said,
Monday? Who's waiting all that long?
till Monday.
Yeah.
Let me just
give it to
Let
him.
me just drop Sid. I got Quincy. Let me just. All right, shit. And I go to his house. I give Quincy this really quickly. I give him this cassette. I said, "Just all I ask is just call me as soon as." He said, "All right, shit." 2-3 hours later, I get a call, and Quincy goes, "Sid, this is the best song that I've heard in 10 years."
Oh, wow.
And I'm like,
yes. Yes, girl.
The key was one step too high for Michael. So Quincy wanted me to re-sing the demo in the new key. So I come in here and I'm singing
How do you even
the
go?
demo
See,
in the new
you need
key,
to know how
and
to
Michael
sing to be
is
going
filming
to,
me.
like, switching keys.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. Gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
She looks the same. Oh my God. Beautiful voice.
As I turn up the
You got a snap.
on, I feel a winter
He does have the best snaps.
Spring is blowing my mind. I see the kids in the street, not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need?
Oh.
Well, oh, deeply scarred. I got that image because I was walking down the street in New York.
That's my
walking
favorite part
past
of the
this
song,
brownstone
right
that
there.
had been torn down, and it was fenced, just a lot with broken glass, and this tree that someone had carved their initials into this tree. But it's broken heart, and one man's soul. They follow
a great song from inception. But I think what Michael did is he took that song and he made it his own.
Yeah.
It is really spectacular.
He connects to it like a songwriter would, is what I'm hearing.
Listening to this and wondered where a choir should be. He said, I would love to have a choir,
Yes.
and I've heard your music.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself.
Chant, I said, right there, he said, you're exactly right.
And the choir is saying,
Man in the mirror.
Andre Crouch's choir seriously threw down at the end and featured all kinds of singers, including, I didn't even realize that the Winans were on there.
My brother Marvin asked him, you know, exactly what do you want us to, how you want us to do it? He was whispering into Quincy Jones' ear, and Quincy would actually relay the message to us. And my brother Marvin said, well, Michael, can you talk? Mike broke out of the shell, sat down on the piano, started playing the part. I didn't even know Michael played piano.
Me neither.
Okay, here's my
this
favorite
is news
lick,
to
right
me. He played that. That's filthy.
That's when I was hot back in the day.
Man in the Mirror, Quincy said, give me the monster claps. Those hand claps, that's what you hear.
Oh,
the three
that's
of us would
filthy. I was
surround the
like,
mic.
how is it so
We'd nail
loud?
it in real time. And then what we would do, we would speed this machine up maybe 15%, so the track's going by really fast, and we're still clapping the same thing. Then when you play back in regular speed, it's fat. So we have two sets of claps in real time, and the fat claps underneath, which are exactly in the
That's
same
a
time.
cool way to
That's
do
why
it
if you
instead of
listen to all
doing
those
it
records
one at
we've
a
done,
time.
some of the best clap sounds you'll ever hear.
It
Once
is.
we cut the track, Andre Crouch and his wonderful singers came in here, and Bruce Swedien had them all up on this stage. Bruce is such a genius, he would have them actually stand over on this side, then they would stand over on this side, then they would stand in the middle, because he wanted to get all this really incredible
That's
imaging.
why it sounded like 57,000
I mean, it really
people.
did.
Okay, now bring the choir in gently there. Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
that part. That part.
When the session was over, everybody was going back to their cars, and I was listening to it with Quincy. I said, Quincy, you know what? We should have put change at the end. He said,
Oh, that would be perfect.
yeah.
That is how it
They
ended.
were getting in their cars, parking lot, and I whistled, and they all come. I said, come in, we gotta do something else. And they came in. I said, just say,
Honestly,
Michael
see,
said,
that'd be perfect for a commercial.
Somewhere between Michael Jackson,
This guy again.
Quincy Jones, Bruce Swedien, the musicians, Greg Fillinganes, and all these guys, something took place in those sessions that technically sounds better than any records ever made to this day.
Michael Jackson meant that the
a reason, you need a team.
was achievable, that you could be respected, you could be successful
also
on
need
a
to be
global
Michael.
level as a person of color.
There's no one that will take his place. The discipline imposed upon him, for good or for bad, from the time he was a baby, it's not even legal to replicate that in today's
Yeah.
Michael is the most professional performer
Internet
I've
would
ever
be
worked
on
with in
you
my life.
so fast.
He made it all look so simple. He made it all look so natural. And he really worked so hard to do that. I remember watching him on stage perform and how he would just glide and make it seem like the music was just going through him. I mean, he would close his eyes and walk across the stage, and I'd sometimes wonder to myself, he could fall, he could trip, he doesn't know where he's going, but he never did.
Whether it's Beyonce or Lady
feeling
Gaga or
it.
Chris Brown or Usher or Will.i.am or Justin Bieber or Justin Timberlake, there isn't a musician that doesn't quote Michael Jackson as being their idol.
That's the
I don't
truth,
think
for
there's
real.
anybody
Dancers,
who comes
singers.
close to having that type of work ethic.
They say that Willie
Anyone in
Mays
the
was
industry.
one of the only 5 tool players in the history of baseball. A player that could run, field, hit for power, and throw. And in the music business, I'm not sure there was ever a 5-tool player other than Michael Jackson. Michael could write the songs, he could produce them, he could sing them, he could certainly perform and dance them, and he set fashion trends with his sense of
He
style.
totally did. He's the whole package. When they talk about the whole
Well,
package,
I consider performing and dancing one and the
Yes.
same, but
Hey, I'm with you all the way, David.
right.
6'2".
there are some
I'm with
people who
you.
can
Willie
dance
Mays
but
and
can't
Michael
perform for
Jackson, that's great.
I'm just
There it
saying.
is. He did everything.
I'm just
he
saying.
wrote, he performed.
There's no presence.
and He did the business part of it. He counted his royalties.
Sometimes it's hard to believe he's even gone.
Mm.
Just the amount of music that I hear, the number of times that I hear people telling me about children that are discovering Michael for the first
Me.
time. and all these things.
Me,
It's like
my
this
sister.
energy that
She was just playing
does
Beat
not
It.
go away.
The divinity that guy was so tapped into. There was a reason that he was unique and he was different than any other artist that we've ever seen. And he had something that was not definable to me. Whenever he stepped out and sang, whenever he made that connection with people, the molecules changed.
It's what they always try to replicate and try to package.
That was what he could do.
These
And there are
artists
people that can
as,
go
but
out
if
and
you,
be wowed by their
you
technique.
gotta be genuine, or people
But
can
he
really feel
changed the
it.
molecules.
No one can
They
quite
felt
say
his
what the
genuineness.
creative process is because I have nothing to do with it almost because it's created in space. It's God's work, not mine.
Y'all, I haven't finished this concert yet. I'm about to finish it.
Somebody's broken heart and washed out dreams. They follow the pattern of the wind you see. 'Cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways.
Oh, I love that part. Oh, he's so excited for this. No, I gotta go back. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. He really spun like a ballerina. Like, you know those tops that you, like, you know those tops that can turn, right? And it's like they always land on their side. Imagine one that just stopped perfectly. That's what he did. Oh my God. And then he fell perfectly. It actually reminds me of the show I was watching, and it was like the first thing that, I don't know, I think it was like performers learn how to do was like how to fall or some shit. He know how to fall. Oh my God, it was good. Okay, I went back 15 seconds. Right here. I love how he gets that growl. Hey. Got better. Spotlight finally caught him. Woo! Oh, I got too excited. Oh, I got too excited. I love how all the lighting makes it like this perfect shadow too. Oh, I think that's the end, y'all. He had the best silhouettes, I can tell you that. Like the best. Cast him in the shadow in literally every shot of everything. Woo! Y'all did that. I think that was the last song on the album. I love you. He for sure ate. Okay, they gave him a star. That's filthy. He should have a bigger star. He should overtake the whole place, to be honest. Is all I'm saying. And yeah, like you get inducted into the Hall of Fame and then you get one of those. His should be bigger is all I'm saying. Anyway, y'all, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna be uploading this very, very soon. So when you're seeing this, it's like all together and everything. Honestly, amazing documentary. I'm gonna be watching Square One after this, but this was an amazing look into the folks that work with him, and just really his process and how he really influences other people, and other people who are like music people who really enjoy music, making it, and it was amazing hearing their stories about working with him and really feeling inspired by him. And I like how he really made relationships with these people, and they still love him to this day. And it's amazing to see how many like people he impacted. Like, I can't name the number of times a musical artist has been like, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. You could dance and people are like, oh, that's Michael Jackson's move, you know? You could sing, you could do these certain things, and it's like, it's hard to separate music from Michael Jackson because he's really shaped a lot of what we have today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon for full reactions. I probably won't be able to upload the full thing here, so check it out for the full reaction. And then, yeah, bye.